Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, whatever part of the world you are in. My name is Keith Allen from Material Indicators. We have a super duper action day in crypto trading today, and I'm going to take you through some tools and show you exactly how we're using some data visualization tools to help identify opportunities, mitigate risk, and, well, quite frankly, trade smarter. Nothing I say or do here is financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I will never tell you what to do with your money or your trades. Trading is inherently risky. Please do your own research, do your diligence, consult a licensed financial advisor before you make risky decisions, and never, ever, ever risk more than you can afford to lose, because you could lose it all in this market. And today is a day Bitcoin is popping. Yesterday, we saw a big pullback, and as we did in traditional markets, and Bitcoin and the rest of crypto fared pretty well. Actually bounced pretty hard. And I'm going to take a look, show you exactly what that looks like here in just a second. If you like the content, please do me a favor and comment, like, and subscribe. You can find all of our information, all of our products, all of our tools at materialindicators.com. We are actually just released our first set of tools, first release of really an entire suite of trading tools. And I think that you may find that these can be helpful for you in your trading as well. We'll get to those in a second. The first thing I want to look at is our FireCharts, because right now things are popping, and I want to take a look and see if we can identify exactly what's happening. Let's see. Let me go to a shared screen, and let's pull up our brand new live Material Indicators web app. Looks like this, and you can see where we just broke this resistance here at 13.5. I'm going to load a fresh chart and show you. Well, this is pretty good. I mean, as the chart loads for the first time, there's nothing in place, and you just enter your ticker symbols here. You enter the duration that you'd like to look at on the chart here. And at the moment, we are supporting all BTC and USDT pairs on Binance, and are currently in the process of scaling our infrastructure so that we can add more exchanges. So what you see here up top is our thermal heat map, if you will, of the order book. This is standing limit orders as they rest in the order book. And down below here, this is the order flow, as CVD, or cumulative volume delta, as it is commonly referred to. And I will take you through what makes this one very different in just a minute. But as you can see, we had a pullback here yesterday, and that was just about 24 hours ago, where we dipped down to the 12,830 level, and Bitcoin bounced from there. You can see a little double bottom right here, bounced up and took out resistance. You can see some whales buying here with this brown line. I guess now would be a good time to explain what these different lines mean for you. So on the CVD portion of the chart here, as most CVD products out there, and there are plenty, and there are some good ones, it is, as the name implies, a cumulative volume delta. But what that does not tell you when you look at the overall cumulative, it doesn't tell you what size orders are taking out or really kind of manipulating, or not necessarily manipulating, but impacting the order book. And by binning these orders into different classes, we can see, as you can see, the orange line here is $100 to $1,000 orders. Green line, $1,000 to $10,000 orders. Red line, $10,000 to $100,000 orders. Purple line, $100,000 to $1 million orders. And the brown line, that's mega whales, $1 million to $10 million orders. And you can see the mega whales came in yesterday, took out this resistance here, and retail size orders sold off, and whales and sharks bought their way all the way through and ate through all of this liquidity here to put us where we're sitting at the moment. We just broke 12.5 and now 12.6. a little bit of profit taking here, but as we adjust the chart, we can see what sits on the order book between here and 14,000. And as you can see, we have this price tag tool here, right? So when I'm not using the price tag tool, it's a clean chart. When I use the tag tool, I can see exactly what's resting at that level. So 3.6 million sitting here at 13.6, excuse me. And above that, another 4.1, and above that, another 4.4. And we had seen some of these orders actually ladder up from the prior resistance at 13.5 rather. And so what everybody is obviously excited about is this 14,000 level was a prior high, as most of us know. And there is just not a lot of resistance moving up. Now, as price goes up, you're certainly going to see some liquidity come into these places, but there is not a ton of resistance. And let me switch screens here, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Not a ton of resistance between. Oh, I see we've got a little bit of a background here that we can clear out in a second. Little bit of resistance overhead as we look at the Bitcoin chart. And let me share that screen. Bear with me 1 second. All right, so here's your BTC chart. Let's go to a longer time frame, and as you can see, there's not a lot between this 14,000 level and the all-time high up at 19,784. So obviously everybody's excited about that. A lot of institutional money been pouring into the market here recently, and with traditional markets and the US dollar not being so stable at the moment, this might be an opportunity. We're not here to talk about that today, though. We are here to talk about the tools that you can use to help identify opportunities and validate your trades. So with that, let me bring you back to the screen here. And hold on 1 second. I'm going to stop the screen share. Hey, I see Fred. Hey, Fred. Fred, if you want to pop yourself in, go right ahead, Fred. Fred, if you're trying to pop yourself in, you're muted. Let me see 1 second. Fred is one of my fellow co-founders at Material Indicators and the lead developer on these tools. Let's see if Fred is here. Hang on 1 second. All right. Well, I'm going to pop him back out here for the moment until he is ready to chime back in. 1 second. Bear with me, my friends, and I will hold this, actually put this chart back up for you while I am trying to ping the man right here. Let's share the screen. Let's go back and pull up that chart so we can see what's happening here. So I'll get a quick refresh here on the screen. I'm going to reload and see if we're going to be able to move into new territory. Right now, price hovering at 13,592. And so one of the things that I want to show you is how we use these tools to identify opportunities and mitigate some risk. So looking at the order book again, all of these colors represent liquidity. And on the left-hand side, on this axis, you can see the color scale. And the brightest color, these are called FireCharts, right? Hottest part of the fire is the white hot part. So we don't see any white on this chart at the moment, and that's because there's not an order that large or any liquidity walls that large at the moment, but that would be somewhere around the $13-14 million range. Right now, the brightest spot on the chart is probably right about here, and that's 8.8 million in this yellow. So by identifying where the liquidity rests, by identifying where the resistance is and where the support is, you can determine whether you like the position or not. So obviously this liquidity has been cleared out, and Bitcoin is, got some risk of getting the rug pulled out and falling back down here. But you can see after the little bit of profit taking, all classes were buying their way back in. And so if you wanted to see who's doing what more specifically, you could actually click out the ones that you don't want to see, right? And just isolate certain classes of buyers. And something that is important is identifying when whales are buying. So the blue line is all orders. That's the sum of all orders. And look at this. We saw mega whales back here, and we see whales buying their way back in here, okay? These are market orders. And if we want to see exactly what that market order size is, we go from our normalized view to see the actual value of these orders. And you can see that by hovering over $7.7 million step right there. Let's see, from 6.4, 7.7, so 7.8, so 1.4 million order right there, and then another one here, another about a 500,000 there. And so the blue line would be the cumulative line, which obviously is the sum of all orders. But by identifying when the larger buyers are making moves, it's typically easier to try and swim with a pod of whales and than to try and trade against them. And this tool allows you to do just that. I'm going to go back to our normalized view because it makes it easier to identify the moves. And we see the upward trajectory, very bullish at the moment. And so now I want to show you how we can use this tool to identify some other opportunities. Now we have another tool, which we call our MTF mean reversion indicator. And I'm going to take you quickly to our website so you can just take a quick look at what that tool is. And I'll give you a quick explanation of it. And then I'll show you how we're using it along with FireCharts to really mitigate a lot of risk and confirm and validate setups before we take them. So back to StreamYard here, and I again apologize. This is a little bit cumbersome switching back and forth. Let's see. Oh, hang on. Someone's chatting. Hey, Fred. Fred's chatting back in. Join me. Turn on your camera and mic. All right. So let's switch over and check out this other screen here for a second. Okay. So at materialindicators.com, which, by the way, I encourage you to click on this Telegram link and join us in our Telegram channel. We've got a fantastic community of traders, really a global community of traders. And this is not a shill channel, and it's not a meme channel. This is just traders talking trade setups and trying to help each other learn, sharing ideas and insights. And it's really a fantastic group. I encourage you to come join us. It's a free group. Feel free to check us out. The links, as I said, are on the website, and I'll share them with you here before we're done. So our FireCharts I just showed you. Our trend precognition indicators, you can learn about here on the website as well. And the one that we're going to look at today is our MTF mean reversion screener. And what this tool does is it is currently running on TradingView, right? And it's part of the subscription only indicators. And this is a tool that identifies when an asset is dropping into a buy zone. It works for crypto, it works for stocks, it works for Forex, it works for just about anything. You just need to optimize your setups for whatever asset um, or asset class, I should say, you're trading and adjust for the volatility. And you can get all that info in the documentation. So we've been testing these indicators for about 2 years. 27,000 plus signals between BTC and USDT pairs. And the vast majority of those, 92% plus, hit 1.25% or higher in a very, very short amount of time. So, that's relative. Obviously, it's important to practice risk management and make sure that you're not putting yourself in a bad situation, because some of them do have some drawdown. But the lion's share are reaching 1.25 or higher within a 5-day range, and the average is probably around a 2-day range. This is a tool you can use to screen opportunities, and we get sometimes hundreds of signals a day, certainly hundreds a week, and in volatile times it could be 1,000, or more. So I encourage you to check that out. Now, you can use this to screen opportunities and cherry pick the ones that meet the setups you want, or you can use it to automate a trading bot. So how you use the tools are up to you, but probably the safest way to use it is with FireCharts as a trading system to screen the signals as they come in. So with that, let's go take a look at some charts and some MTF signals that have come in recently, and we can see how those work alongside our FireCharts setup. So with that, I'm going to go to Fred is in the lab working. So, all right, Fred, stay with, you keep working and I'll keep working over here, and we're going to share some more charts with some folks and give them an idea of how we're using these tools together. So, MTF comes in as an alert, and you would see it on your trading view panel. And we also have a Telegram channel that fires off those alerts if you're not looking at at your trade station. So let's share another screen, and we will look at how we can use these signals alongside other tools and identify these opportunities. So they come in as a tier 1 or a tier 2 signal, and while you can use the TPs that are preset, we actually encourage you to pick your own static TPs, because sometimes when the chart shifts, the TP1 doesn't come out where you want it to, at least maybe not as profitably as you would like. So these are some signals that came in recently. Obviously, BTC down as a leveraged coin, and it's been dumping because obviously Bitcoin is going up. Let's look at something that's a little less cliche, and let me just take a peek at my Telegram feed, and I can pull up some recent signals. And you know what? One just came in, USDT 1. So let's see what this one looks like. USDT. All right, you can see it dumping right now, right? And it just triggered that signal. Signals fire when price crosses below, and the candle closes below the 0 fib line on the chart, right? Now, is there going to be more drawdown, or are we going to get a bounce here? And here's how we can use the FireCharts to examine that a little bit further, right? So price right now is around, we dropped down to 00417. It's sitting at 420. And if we look at the fire chart now, we can pull it up and see how that looks relative to what we just saw with the signal coming in, right? So we'll move from that screen, and we will now go back to the web app and see what ONE USDT looks like in the fire chart and see if we're anywhere near support, right? I'll always like to take a little peek here at BTC before we leave that screen. And looks like we just cleared out that level. Look at this. Cleared a hole, knocked a hole in 13.6. So looking for some more upward mobility, but a little bit of profit taking again here, right? So O&E is what we're looking at. O&E. And what I like to look for here is this falling on support? And look, it is falling right on support right here, right? So right on about $44,000 of support, which is significant for that coin. Look at this, the white hot part, $80,000. That's the largest pot of or pool of liquidity in the order book right now. So this isn't a high volume coin, but it is landing exactly on support. And if I were not in the middle of this live stream, I'd probably be taking this trade, looking for a bounce here. Now, what's good is that there's also some depth in that liquidity below it, right? So there's 44,000 of support sitting right there, and another 12,000, another 15,000, and another 15,000. So there's, $50,000, $60,000 beneath this that will back this up. So if you were, already in this trade, for example, and maybe you took a prior signal and this is, considered drawdown, this might be a good spot to DCA, to dollar cost average your position. Now you look at the upside potential here, right? So as I told you, over 92% of these MTF signals go 1.25% or higher in a relatively short amount of time. Let's try and take a peek at what is above and below. And again, as we zoom out the chart a little bit, we can see even stronger support, $50,000 and another $52,000 at this level. So if it does fall through here, these might be either, depending on your risk tolerance, might be a DCA position, or it might be a stop loss position that you can identify here. Because once it falls below this level at 338, there's nothing there, right? So how about the upside? We've got a pretty thin book to the upside already. So I'm expecting a decent bounce here. And if you want to, just take it all at once. If you have static TPs that you use, that's usually a pretty sound strategy. But if you want to use the FireCharts to identify some potential targets, you might say you want to split up your orders and split up your take profits, and maybe take one here at the 5.3 level, and maybe one up here at the 0.006 level. So again, you're visualizing the data here. You're visualizing the resistance. You're visualizing the support. So now there's no more speculating. You get rid of the speculative decisions and replace them with data-driven decisions. And that's how you can identify opportunities and mitigate risk with FireCharts. Let's look at another one. Let's see if I've got another signal that's come in recently. I'm sure I do. There's been a lot pinging here the past couple days. USDT Ocean came in about 15 minutes ago. Let's see if it's bounced already. USDT Ocean. Okay, look at this one, falling again right into support. This looks good as well. And look at this, clear to the upside. So when the bounce comes, and look, they've already started buying, right? So when the bounce comes, there's not a lot of resistance overhead. And if we want to expand the chart a little bit, you can see some prime targets. You have a little bit of resistance here at 0.476. You have more resistance here at the 50-cent range, and on up to 55 cents. So there's how you identify your potential targets. You can see up here what may have triggered this was sharks selling, right? That red class. I classify them as sharks. That might be considered a whale on this coin because you don't see any of the purple or brown class trades here. Sharks sold, other classes buying in. And so as you kind of move that over to the side, you can see exactly when it happened. Here's where the sharks sold, right? Little bit of drawdown and not a lot though, because there's support underneath, and these market orders all came flooding in. So again, another look at how we're using MTF signals, which again, you can use this as a daily screener to screen opportunities. You're going to see literally hundreds, if not over 1,000 of them weekly, and using FireCharts to validate the setups and see if the trade looks right for you. I hope that helps give you an idea of how we're using these tools. And if you've got interest in using them yourself, I certainly encourage you to join us on our website and in our Telegram group. You can, again, reach us at materialindicators.com. That's the easiest place to get there. Of course, Twitter and YouTube and Periscope and anywhere else you may be watching, you're welcome to add comments. In fact, I encourage you to add comments and like and share the content so that you can maybe turn some people on to what we're doing. And of course, it helps us out as well. If you're watching on YouTube, you can find us again on Twitter at MI_algos. And on YouTube, you can find us at Material Indicators. You can get to all of these spots and our awesome community of traders on Telegram. And you can get there by going straight to materialindicators.com. Again, this is not trading advice. I'm not a financial advisor, just trying to show you how you can use these tools, how we use them. I use them personally every single day, and how you can use these tools to identify opportunities, mitigate risk, and validate some trade setups. Thanks for watching. My name's Keith Allen. Look forward to seeing you in our channel. Let me just take one last look and see if anybody's got any requests for charts, because I promised I would do that. And we will, let's see what's been moving on today. Okay, let's take a look at, got a little note here. Let's take a look at one more chart today. Rune is one that moved pretty big today. Let's go to, actually, let's look at it on FireCharts first, since we have that up. Rune, USDT, and we do have these signals for Bitcoin as well, and Bitcoin pairs. So there was a big dump right to support earlier today, and as you can see, climbed. Another little pullback here into yellow hot support, and another climb. Let's see what that looks like in terms of profitability. So I need to take it now to, oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't sharing that with you. Just I was watching. There you go. All right, since I'm switching, let's take a look at the Rune chart, and then we'll go from there. Okay, share that one. Let's look at, and one is one that we just looked at a few minutes ago, and it's as you can see, it's starting to bounce here. Rune was a big mover, and one of our fantastic community members pointed this one out to us. I wasn't even watching. He did some TA on it and saw it, and I looked at it and noticed the signal had come in. So here you see, and let me open this up a little bit for us. You can see that the signals came in, and as I mentioned, sometimes there's some drawdown. This is where it broke zero fib, and it continued to come down. Now, you would see this on the fire chart. You would see, and we'll look at it here in a second, you would see whether there was any support in this place. And, if you took the trade here, you'd still be in good shape because it looks like it did very well. But secondary signals came in. and because it stayed down here in the buy zone. So let's take a look at exactly where this went. All right, let's say you took this, you got the worst signal, okay? That would have done 5%, 5.25% in 3.5 hours. Okay. If you got in on a later signal, or perhaps you decided to DCA the position, right? Maybe if you took this one, you DCA down here. Let's even come into this one, which is a little later, right? It's not even the best signal, but it's still a very, very good one. 7.83% from, that's about 6:20 a.m. to 10 a.m. So less than 4 hours. That's a good signal right there. So let's see what this looked like on the fire chart, okay? And compare. So you can see what that support looks like and how you can use these tools together as just an incredible screening system. Oh, back to this. I do need to find a less cumbersome way to do this for sure. So stop that screen share. Now share this screen. Thanks for your patience while I talk myself through it. All right, here's Rune. Let me refresh that. All right, and you can see it came right through. There was not a lot here. This looks like it may have been the first signal, and dropped right through, got to the secondary signal where there was support, more support than we saw beforehand. Look, you could, it's always an indication that stuff's going to dump. Let me move the tag so you can see that. When you see the liquidity, when you see the support disappear, that's typically, not always, but that's typically a warning sign. And so it came right through. It came right through this liquidity and found support down below. And then we saw a very significant bounce and then another bounce. So again, this is the combination, our MTF mean reversion indicator alongside FireCharts. These things perform exceptionally well. Past performance, certainly not indicative of future results, but the whole concept behind the MTF indicator is it is signaling a potential buy zone with a mathematically and historically high probability of bouncing. And as I said, over 92% of them clear 1.25% or higher in a relatively short amount of time. So if you're interested, again, I encourage you to come take a look over at materialindicators.com and join our community and see for yourself. Ask the folks in our community how they feel about the tools. They have been using them alongside our development process for over 2 years. We've just recently released these and brought them to market. So now you can actually access them all, and our entire suite of tools is currently available. Let me turn that one off and just remind you, if you'd like to find us, you can do so. Join our community and join us on Twitter. And of course, you can join us at materialindicators.com.